You act, you model, and you're a content creator. Fabulous.
Mhm.
You have got a lot going on, haven't you? Like I
I
looked,
know, it's a lot. It's a lot.
you've got a lot going
Yeah.
on, but isn't that fun though? That's
It's
exciting.
so much fun. Oh, 100%. Yeah. And I've only been doing it for 2 months. Like it's brand new.
Mm.
Because before I was working in hospitality and I sort of went through this quarter life crisis where I was like, I'm so done with this shit. Like I just can't deal with, this job and the environment and the people and whatnot. And I think I always sort of knew I wanted to work in the sort of entertainment world. But I had no idea how to sort of get into it. Um, but I feel like it was me like meeting the right people, the right time, and then just making the bold decision to quit my job as well, relying on my savings for some time. I'm still sort of relying on my savings, but because what I'm earning now is just pocket money at this stage, but I'm committed to like making it work long term. But I love it. I mean, I'm so fulfilled. Like it's a lot. I'm like working 24/7, but I'm just so, so happy. It's just that I'm sort of because I feel like I'm entering this new era of my life, there's been a lot of like changes and um what's the word? Like just not drama, but like just yeah, just like issues sort of in my personal relationships essentially.
Mhm,
Um friendships especially.
mhm.
So yeah, I'm just sort of navigating that at the moment.
Well, a few things that you said is that you are committed to this new life that you've embarked on. You've made a
Mhm.
decision, which is the biggest step that some people aren't able to do. So that in itself is so huge for you to even make that step and that you're committed to doing it. And yeah, okay, you're relying on your savings a little bit, but for the fact that you find so much enjoyment and fulfillment when you speak about what it is you're doing is fantastic. So some of the barriers that you're facing at the moment is friendships and the friendships that you hold at the moment. Do you feel like they're holding you back?
Initially they were definitely. It's actually really funny because one of the things that fueled me and to get it into content creation specifically was two of my friends at the time. I got into a huge fight with them for something very stupid, but we got into a fight, and one of them was had always sort of criticized me for like wanting to do something like that. And I remember when we went into that fight, I was like, okay, like these people don't even matter to me anymore. Like, why am I putting myself barriers? Because I feel like I was subconsciously holding myself back because I
Mm,
didn't want to be judged by like people around me and these friends
mm,
specifically.
mm,
And I feel like that's really what fueled me into getting into it, being like, okay, like I don't have these people holding me back anyway, so I'm just gonna do it. But
mm,
yeah, I feel like a lot of them just sort of they just don't support, and I feel like they're giving like monitoring spirit vibes. Like they
mm.
just never support,
Yeah.
and it's yeah, it's a bit draining, and it's saddening as well because I mean. I would personally never judge someone based on what they do, on what their career and stuff like that. Like even if they're doing something that's not, I don't know, like amazing. Like I don't care. Like if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. But I feel like they just sort of, I feel like they think I'm all that now, which is not the case at all.
Mm.
And yeah, I don't know. I think
Because
they do hold me
sometimes,
back.
yeah, I mean, you obviously said that subconsciously you were probably holding yourself back, but I think that that's just like the evolution of life, isn't it? As you grow, if the people around you aren't able to grow with you, then sometimes we have to let things go. How difficult it may be sometimes, especially if you've had friendships for long amount of years and you've grown up with each other or you just hold somebody dearly close to you, it can be very difficult to let them go because of familiarity as well. If you become familiar
Mhm.
with somebody and it feels comfortable, but as you grow, it's being able to recognize that okay, these people no longer support what it is that I'm doing. But are you
Mhm.
still friends with them?
Most of them, no, to be honest.
Okay.
One of them, she used to be my best friend. She's my cousin as well. We've known each other for decades. And we would speak like on the phone or like we do voice notes like every single day. And when I first started, when I really was in the building stage like 2 months ago, I was really laser focused. Like I couldn't talk to anyone. I was like, okay, I really need to focus on this. And I told her like, listen, like I need some time off. Like I'm not gonna be looking at my phone for a while. Just FYI.
Mhm.
And I think she didn't really like the fact that I said that. Um, and then now I feel like we speak way less because also she's someone that's quite negative. Like in her voice notes, it's like 90% of just her complaining about her life. And then when I talk about stuff about my life, she doesn't really care that much,
Mhm.
which I find to be very draining.
Mhm.
So even before I started all this, like I sort of had doubts about this friendship, but because it was so familiar, like as you said, like I feel like I
Mhm.
didn't want to let that friendship go.
Mhm.
'Cause also she's my cousin too.
Mhm.
Um, but now we barely speak anymore. But I have noticed that like every single time I post on my Instagram story about I don't know, some really cool project I did or like an achievement whatsoever,
Mhm.
that's when she responds back, but like not even in a, oh, that's so cool. I love that for you. Like, hey, like we should catch up, like what's new with your life, like that kind of vibe. And it just makes me very uncomfortable, I guess.
Mhm.
But at the
Mhm.
same time, I also feel some guilt because it's like I've known her my whole life, like I shouldn't
Mhm.
cut her off, blah blah blah. But at the same time, she makes me feel like shit. So
Mhm.
yeah.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Like you mentioned a few things there that you've known her a long time and she's family as well. And I completely understand what you're saying from that basis of that you probably feel like you can let go, but she's still sort of family as well. But you set a boundary in place, didn't you? And you said, look, you actually explained the situation to her. And you said, look, this is what I'm doing at the moment. I need some space, FYI. And for you to identify that she didn't really like that is because you had a friendship and there was a pattern and how things happened. And now that's gone because you're starting to focus on different things. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that we do sometimes, especially when you're a giver and you give so much. Like you said, she spoke about her life to you and all her problems, and there was a lot of negative talk in there as well. And when you came to speak about your issues, it was like there was no real concern there, or there was no empathy there for what it is that you were going through. But I think what it's important to remember is that sometimes you do have to set these boundaries, and we shouldn't feel guilty for setting those boundaries because basically a boundary is I'm putting myself first. I care about myself and I love myself enough to put myself first. And sometimes we're going to have to do that with a lot of different things in life. Some people might not be happy with the decisions that we're about to make. Some people, they might not like what we're about to do, but you have to make these difficult decisions in order to grow. And
Mhm.
I understand that you were saying that you also felt a bit uncomfortable because you've set that boundary and she's not respecting that boundary by, you're posting stories and there's still sort of communication there. Um, and I completely empathize with you on the basis of that. Once you set a boundary, sometimes they will try and push that boundary down because a lot of it is out of want and need for your friendship. So I suppose I would definitely reframe it and try to look at it as a positive in the sense that you clearly did make a huge impact on her life and you had a very, very good friendship for her to still want to communicate with you. But also, I think it's about being firm and understanding that you've made this boundary and you have to stick to it. And
Mhm.
it can be difficult, but it's about not feeling guilty for choosing you
Mhm.
because since you've not had that communication, how have you felt within yourself about that, about your life? How has that impacted you?
because of that friendship.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think about it at all now. Like, honestly, I feel like ever since I've stopped speaking to her, like, I've almost felt like relief because I
Hmm.
really did feel like she was weighing me down with like her
Hmm.
negativity. Because I would have like an amazing day and I would voice note her about it, saying like, "Oh my God, like this happened. I'm so happy." And then she would just completely disregard what I just said and like talk about her problems.
Hmm.
So even back in the day when we would still be speaking, I'd be like, oh my God, like this is really like it's making me feel bad. Um, so it's not impacting like it's not making like I feel much better.
Okay.
But I still probably, yeah, have a little bit of guilt because yeah, like I've always been there for her and I feel like I've always been like the sort of her therapist, like her
Yeah.
unpaid therapist because
Yeah.
I'm just that kind of person, like I'm very empathetic and like
Hmm.
I'm always there for my friends, etc. Which obviously is a good quality to have, but I feel like sometimes like people just sort of use me as their unpaid therapist,
Yeah.
even with other friendships as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
Do you feel that a lot with your friendships? Like, is that an issue? You mentioned earlier that you were, there's still a little bit of drama going on in your personal life. Do you feel like people
Mm,
lean on, is that one of the problems that people lean on you?
yeah, that happens a lot. That happens
Mhm.
definitely a lot. Yeah. Um, even with yeah, other friends where yeah, because I'm a good listener. I would will listen to people's problems and like give advice. Like I'm really that kind of person. And I feel like yeah, I have some friends who take advantage of that a little bit.
Hmm. So setting boundaries is would be really beneficial for you to
Hmm.
understand how to set those boundaries and sticking to them really, because
Hmm.
boundaries are just a way of saying just a way of you saying that this is what I need. It's about adhering to what your needs are in that moment and what it is that you value and what it is that you want from a friendship, because a
Hmm.
good friendship really respects boundaries, respects people's space,
Hmm.
respects people's time, respects the fact that you're doing something, respects this. So, what is it about boundaries that you find so difficult? Does it go back to that guilt of wanting to always be there for somebody?
Yeah, I think yeah, it comes down to guilt. Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like I sometimes I feel like how can I explain it? Like I sort of project like what I would do in people like in people's places. So like because I'm someone that's very empathetic, like I'm always there for them. I'm always listening, etc. I sort of expect them to do the same. But then when they don't do it, like it makes me feel like kind of bad. Um, and so then, but so then I feel guilt because it's like, oh, like, am I too nice to them? Am I too nice of a person, etc. Should I be like meaner or whatever? And then, but then it's also not me to be like mean. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
So when you're not getting it back and you're realizing that are you viewing people how you are? So you expect people to be how you are with you.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's like a good thing or not. But recently I have met a lot of people actually who are very good listeners and who are actually like really good friends to me. Especially like the new people I've met like in the sort of industry I'm in now. Also these people that happen to be very ambitious as well, which I feel like is the kind of people that I really need to surround myself with.
Yeah.
Because it's like they have goals, then they're able to support you with your goals, and then it's like a give. So now I feel like the people I'm meeting are like much better. But in terms of like close friendships, like my closest friendships are still with people that, yeah, people from the past that um, are not the best listeners and are not the most ambitious people as well.
Mhm.
Um,
it's sometimes we do. I go back to the point of familiarity. We like what we know, don't we? We get comfortable with what we know. So for you, do you, because it sounds to me like the new friends that you've met are meeting all of your needs and requirements for what you feel a friendship is supposed to be like. They listen,
Hmm.
they give
Yeah.
advice, they're ambitious. So they align with your with the new version of you, your growth. So
Hmm.
it seems like you've outgrown the friends that you've had from the past. Yes, you've got that longevity. Yes, you've got that friendship that's based off of years, but do you feel like it no longer serves you?
No, they don't serve me at all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How do you
No.
feel about them still being a part of your life, or is it, have you come to a point now where you want to completely distance yourself from the old and step into the new?
Yeah, I definitely want to distance myself from the past for sure. Because yeah, they just don't it's not even just about like who they are as a person, etc. It's also the fact that they just don't support my new life at all. And it's like my new life is just such a like my career is like such an integral part of who I am. And it's like if you can't accept the fact that I'm doing all these things, and just it's sort of like they want to weigh me down and like keep me as I was before, like the Lauren of like 6 months ago who was working hospitality, very low level job, that kind of stuff. Like that made them more comfortable. And I feel like they really want to keep me over there. Um, and I'm just done. I'm done with like um not following through with my dreams and like what I want to do just because I want to sort of fit in. And I feel like now sort of like that's another topic as well, but like I feel like as a result, I don't fit into a lot of places, like my old circles, etc. And I feel like I've starting to come to terms with it, because I'm so much happier now than I was before. Um, but yeah, that's sort of where I'm at.
Do you feel like it's already happened? Because you did say there, I'm just done with it. So do you feel like you've already made that transition of, do you feel like you've let go? Or is there still something attaching you to those past friends? What does letting go mean to you? What would that look like?
Um, just stop interact. Well, that's what has happened with most of them. I would say probably 90% of them. Like we just don't talk anymore. We
Mhm.
don't like interact with each other's stuff on social media.
Mhm.
Um, like some of them, like the people I got into a fight with, I completely like we blocked each other. So I feel like for most of them, like there's just no interaction at all. And I feel like just energetically as well, like I don't think about them at all. Like they're just not part of my life. Um, just recently, like I've actually met some people that are sort of that I would love to continue being friends with that are like very ambitious, that are very good listeners, like really great people. That as soon as I met them, I was like, well, like they're really cool. They really fit in like the kind of people I would like to surround myself with. But they're friends with like one person from the past, who was friends with like the people that I got into a huge fight with. So it's like I'm sort of in the middle when it comes to like that friendship group. Um, but yeah,
So there's one friend that's still there's a connection there in some way
yeah,
with a
yeah,
new person that you've met. And do
yeah.
you feel differently when you're around this new person that's connected to that old friend? Do you feel reluctant to engage with the new person because of that? Is it holding you back in any way, or is that something that you've mentally acknowledged and are able to move forward with?
Um, well, it's a little bit complicated because it's kind of like a, you know how there's like love triangles? It's kind of like a love
Ah,
pentagon.
okay, yeah. There's a
Um,
pentagon going on, right? Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
So
okay.
basically it's me and this girl who is the person that I sort of feel like I've outgrown a little bit. That's from my past. We had met like three guys like at a night out. And one of them we knew him from before. Like I worked for 3 months on an island, and we were all sort of working together. But the two others, I didn't know them. And so then my friend, she got with one of the guys, and now they're dating, like they're in a situationship sort of thing. And this guy actually is, I really like him as a friend because he's very ambitious. Like he has his own business. He is very supportive of like what I do. Like last time he was like, when I saw him, he was like, "Oh, that's so cool. Look at where you are today. Like when we first met, like you had just started off content creation and look at you now." Like that's really the kind of energy I really
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
from people. Like he's awesome. And then the two others, like they're sort of similar as well. And initially, like we would all hang out together and it was great. But I feel like this the friend she goes to their place like all the time because they're all flatmates. But she never invites me for some reason. So that sort of hurt me a little bit because I was like, yeah, like I get along with them as well,
Mhm.
you know. Um, I don't know if it's because like she's going there just because of the guy she's dating or whatnot.
Mhm.
But they all happen to all hang out together.
Mhm.
So
So that's where the conflict is. So which one's the
yeah,
is it the girl that's the person from the past?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so it's the
yeah,
girl that's okay. Yeah, that's tough because obviously she's in a relationship with this guy as well.
yeah,
And she
yeah.
they're gonna have that. They're going to, I mean, what's his relationship like with you? Is it, he's very he's quite encouraging, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah, super friendly, super
Mhm.
encouraging. I feel like I can really talk to him about all the things that I'm going through with my career because he can relate as well.
Mhm.
Because he was an entrepreneur at the time. Yeah, now he's like really, really focused on his career, and he's just also like a very nice person. He's very empathetic. Can very intelligent. We can talk about a lot of things. Um, so yeah, I was like, it's nice to have these kind of people in my life.
Well, I
But
guess
yeah,
it,
I feel like
yeah, yeah, I think it sounds to me like she's already sort of set the tone because obviously she's not inviting you. Obviously, it's not pleasant that she's not inviting you because obviously you get on with everybody, but clearly
mm,
she sounds connected to, she's already sort of made a bit of a decision as to, with her not inviting you. So it doesn't um sound to me like that you would have any issues with still speaking with him. What is
mhm.
it that concerns you about her? What is the main concern?
um, yeah, I feel like the main concern is that um, it's like she's preventing me from making like connections that I wanna
Mhm.
make.
I
Um,
see.
because
Hmm.
I like all of them, like they're awesome. But and I mean to be fair, they could also invite me too. Like it's not just on her. Like they could also, like
It's a
invite
good
me too.
point.
Um, I mean they do talk to me sometimes on social
Mhm.
media, but like they could also invite.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but
But
yeah,
that is
I don't know.
that is just one group of people, Lauren. That is
Hmm.
just, that is, three people out of, there's going to be so many people that you're going to meet doing what you do.
Hmm. Yeah.
Obviously, it's one person that is, and like you said, you just said it yourself, they could have invited you as well. So
Hmm.
maybe as much as she might have a bit of influence over the situation because she's dating one of the guys, she also only will
Hmm.
have a certain amount of influence. It won't be able to go as far as, like you just said, they could have invited you independently. But
Hmm.
it is just a very small group of people. But
Hmm.
nobody can stop you having a connection with somebody unless you stop yourself from having a connection with somebody. Like you could still talk to that guy. You could still, it might not be
Hmm.
how you want things to be. It might not be, you get invited round. It's like this, it's like that. But, she doesn't have to be a barrier towards those connections. You could still
Hmm.
speak those with those men.
Hmm.
But in terms of your new friendships, it sounds to me like you're definitely on a path of outgrowing the old you and you're really stepping into your new self. You also mentioned that you, because of the line of work that you do, content creation, modeling, acting, very, very out there career paths, social media, in front of cameras, socializing, networking, connecting with people, making friends. Like you clearly already have those social skills set in stone. But you mentioned something about self-sabotaging and being the fear of being perceived and the fear of being seen. And I noticed
Mhm.
also you mentioned that it's quite ironic because it's like you know what you're doing, you know the path that you're on is the right one for you. And but you have there's something within you, there's a belief somewhere that you have this fear of being seen. Where do you think that
Mhm.
stems from?
Yeah, I feel like I've always had a fear of being seen, and it used to be way, way worse than like now, because obviously now I put myself out there for sure. But before I used to have a lot of social anxiety as a kid. I was a very, very, very shy kid. But it's funny because even though I was so shy and so socially anxious, I sort of always knew I wanted to be in front of a camera, even though I was like very, very
Yeah.
socially awkward. Um, but yeah, I feel like, well, as a kid, like I got bullied a lot, which I think probably led to all the social anxiety issues. Um, and I feel like still today, that's why I feel like I'm so sensitive to criticism and like people not supporting me because of like that would happen in the past. Um, and as a result, yeah, like I know that with what I do, like I have to put myself out there on social media. Like I have to be posting on my Instagram because like a lot of jobs I get through Instagram. And my Instagram needs to be really good, but because I have all these like monitoring spirits that are like on my Instagram, I feel like I am like, oh, maybe I shouldn't post. Maybe they're gonna judge. Maybe they're gonna think that I'm too much. I'm all that, whatever. When deep down I know that like I'm not posting for validation. I'm just posting because for my career. But I still have those thoughts sometimes of like, oh, what are they gonna say, sort of thing.
So really then it's about the general. So whether they follow you or they don't, you know that publicly you're going to be seen
Yeah,
in a way where people are able to make judgments or say things about what it is that you're doing. But you're so
yeah,
focused and you're so committed to what you're doing that you're you're going to post anyway because
yeah.
I get that feeling from you that you're just going to do what you need to do. But it's about understanding what these beliefs are that you have that's really in the way. Because fear of being judged, I feel like that's something that a lot of people can relate to. But the
Mhm.
truth is that sometimes we place so much importance on how we're perceived when in actual fact nobody really is interested in what we're doing because they're so consumed with their own problems and their own lives that we sometimes think that people are so concerned with us and they're really not. They
Mhm.
might look at it
Mhm.
for 2 seconds and they may make judgments, but so what?
Mm,
You know, they've got everyone's going to have to everyone's going to say something. Everyone's going to
mm,
have an opinion of who you are and
mm,
what you do throughout life. They just are. And whether it's negative or positive, it's only always ever going to be a perspective. It's not truth. And I think
mm,
that's something that we have to remind ourselves of is that everybody is entitled to their perspective. Everybody is entitled to say that this podcast that they're watching now is a load of rubbish, but it doesn't make it true.
mm,
Everybody's entitled to say that a TikTok video that I've posted is, what are you doing? That is so rubbish. Why are you doing that? It doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it any truer than my
mm.
thoughts about myself and your thoughts
Yeah.
about yourself. So people are going to always have something to say or something to um chime in on, but it doesn't make it true. And I think that's what we have to remember is that people are allowed to have their opinions rather than saying, no, you can't criticize me and you can't say this about me and you're not allowed to. Why are you saying negative things? If we, it's not to say that we should accept bad behavior or accept abuse, but it's about saying that everyone's entitled to their opinion but it doesn't make it true. And people judge all the time. You know, they look at something and say, "Oh, don't really think Lauren should be doing that." But who are they to say anything about you or what you're doing? That they have no
Yeah.
right. They have no, that they're going to say things and they're going to do things. But it's obviously with the way that you experience bullying in school, that will obviously have an effect on you. And the criticism that you faced and with your friends as well being criticized and not being accepted for what it is that you're doing. You're so accepting of everybody else, but everybody else doesn't seem to be as accepting as you. And
Mhm.
that is the problem that you've clearly faced, but you're finding those new friends that do accept you
Mhm.
for who you are, that are able to listen and empathize. But people, I mean, look, it's one measure for you to do that with your social medias, but you're right, it won't eradicate the fact that there will be, regardless of the friends, there'll be so many other people that may have things to say to you. But
Mhm.
I think that all boils down to confidence as well. And that's something else that you mentioned. Confidence is like the through line for everything, making decisions,
Mhm.
setting boundaries, having the confidence to do that and say, this is my decision, this is what I'm saying, and this is what I'm sticking to. That's confidence. Confidence
Mhm.
is being able to express yourself and express your needs and express your values without feeling that you're going to upset somebody or sometimes givers are people pleasers, so we don't want to rock the apple cart. We want to make sure we might feel bad because they might feel really bad for me not speaking to them or what. But that's confidence is saying, right, this is what I want to do, which you've already done, Lauren. You've already done it.
Mhm.
You already
Mhm.
have confidence. You've already made the steps to pursue your acting career, modeling, content creation. You've already done it. So you already have the confidence, but there's obviously still small chinks that your belief systems almost have to catch up to your actions because you're moving fast. You're
Mhm.
moving, but your brain's having to catch up with your movements because you are confident. You are
Mhm.
you're in front of the camera, but in terms of posting and pursuing your dreams and doing what you want to do and doing what truly gives you true fulfillment, that's a gift for you to feel
Mhm.
like that. So for you to be able to post without feeling judged is an important part of your journey, I guess. And
Mhm.
we're not always going to feel confident in what we post. But my motto is just do it anyway.
Mhm.
Feel the fear
Yeah.
and do it anyway. And I
Mhm.
think that that is so important. There's a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. I'm sure it's a book or a quote.
Mhm.
But it's really important to understand that fear is such a normal emotion. To feel judged is such a normal emotion. To feel seen and a bit self-conscious about what it is that you're posting is normal. I still feel all of those things, but I do it
Mhm.
anyway because
Yeah.
I just post it anyway and think just I feel it, but I do it anyway because I understand that if it's something that I truly want to do, then I have to do it. And you're already on that path. And for you to
Mhm.
just be so persistent, and I love what you said at the beginning of the conversation, I'm committed. You left a job that you didn't like, you took those huge steps that a lot of people really struggle to make. So you're already
Mhm.
invested, and it's just about
Mhm.
being consistent with your investment. But
Mhm.
you're on track, and you're clearly doing it anyway. But you might have
Mhm.
those days. But it's completely normal to have those. Sometimes you can be like, oh no. Oh, you just, you should feel like this, you should feel like that. It's so normal. Everybody feels the fear of being judged. Everybody feels nervous when they're about to go on stage. Everybody feels the same things. We're all in the same boat. And that's what we forget
Mm,
is that every perfectly sequenced Instagram feed or Facebook feed or TikTok feed or YouTube feed that you want to see, they still feel the same emotions that we do. The difference is that they're still doing
mm,
it. They don't give up and
mm,
they're not concerned about what other people are thinking because they realize that they don't really care about them. They don't.
mm,
Everyone's got so many problems that they're consumed with on a day-to-day basis. And
mm,
it's sometimes we say, oh, I don't want this because sometimes it's you as well. You're thinking, am I good enough? Am I doing this right? Is this good enough? Should I post
mm,
this? It
mm,
can come from what you feel as well about
mm.
you. And that's why
Yeah.
building on your confidence and it is important and doing things that you enjoy, um, and really putting yourself out there like you are. Because confidence, all that is really is the beliefs that you have about yourself. But they can sometimes be reinforced by situations such as bullying, such as your experiences with friends, with family, or whoever, in a job, your manager, your boss, when they're constantly critiquing you, it can really
Mhm,
lower your self-esteem. But I think it's really important to just write down what your strengths are and focus on the your positive attributes because it's so easy to focus on the negative all the time and think, but what
mhm,
about this? But what about that? But for every negative, there is a positive. So, even if I have a bad picture that I'm looking at, I'm thinking, okay, but what's good about this? All right, I don't like it, but what is good about this? And what will happen if I do post this? This post is going to
mhm,
contribute towards my future. I think it's about
mhm.
reframing the way we look at what we're doing as well. So when you're approaching your Instagram, every time you post, what sort of things do you actually post and do on social media? Is it a bit of everything?
Yeah, a bit of everything. So on my feed, I'm trying to focus more on like just modeling pictures.
Hmm.
And then for like my Instagram stories, I post like sort of behind the scenes of like my acting projects and stuff. Um, so yeah, but I can totally relate to what you said about being very like critical towards like pictures and stuff because I always find flaws in like every
Yeah.
single picture I take.
Yeah.
Even though I show them to people and they're like, "Oh my God, it looks amazing," and then I'm like, "What? No!" Like,
Mhm.
so yeah, or like for the stories, sometimes it's like, "Oh, like should I post this? Like, does it seem like I'm showing off?" But then it's like, no, like I want recruiters, like I want casting directors to see, like, okay, like she's worked with these kind of brands, like she's worked with these people, like that's why I do it. Like I
Yeah.
shouldn't care about randoms.
Hmm.
That potentially do these things. But but yeah, I can be very critical towards myself, which is one of the reasons why I don't post too.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, look, we all are. We all are. You're not on your own there. We all are. But like you said, your your fear of being seen is somebody else's dream. So, like, you could be posting a picture and a modeling agent could see you and say, oh my God, Lauren, that's exactly who we need. Look at the photo that she's posted. So, every time you post, I want you to remember that every single post, you're getting closer and closer and closer to that person noticing you or somebody
Mm,
out there that needs what you're offering because you wouldn't feel so fulfilled if somebody
mm,
didn't want what you have to offer. You wouldn't
mm,
feel so much joy if somebody didn't want what you offer. You wouldn't feel that.
mm. Yeah.
So every time you post, you're getting closer and closer and closer to your big dream. So
Mm,
anything that you hold back, that could be somebody's treasure. That
mm,
casting director could say, oh my God, did you see that Lauren was on that set with that person? You never know who's watching as well on social
mm,
media. Lauren, you
yeah.
keep posting. I'm telling you, you keep
Mm,
posting. You never know who's watching. Just in the
mm,
sideline, just watching. Is she consistent? Oh, she didn't post today because you were having an off day and you didn't feel like, oh, let me see. Is she posting this week? Oh, look what she's posted, the acting stuff and the modeling stuff, constantly watching you and you don't even know it. That
Mm,
ghost Instagram account be somebody special.
mm,
So we all feel it. We all feel it. I've looked through my phone and looked at pictures and I'm thinking, oh God. So, well, I just if you can do it anyway, you're one step
mm,
closer and closer and closer to that
mm.
person you need
Yeah,
to see you.
yeah.
So in terms of like self-sabotage, is that and is that what it is? So your fear of being seen, is that your form like of self-sabotage because you're not posting enough, therefore you're self-sabotaging, you're not able to, you feel like you're not accomplishing what you set out to accomplish.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the
Mm.
self-sabotage. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Like purposely
yeah.
not posting stuff that I know that if I were to post, um, would yeah, help my portfolio and then help me get in front of the right people and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. But the thing, it's always, you know what, as well, it's always things that we don't think are good that always
Mm,
hit. Like
mm,
that one photo in your role that you're thinking, absolutely not. Post it and it goes. You're like, what? I had
yeah.
this feeling and this thought that that was rubbish, but I posted
Mm,
it and it posts.
mm,
It's always what we don't think
yeah,
is
that's
gonna
true.
go. So
Mm,
this is why I always say fear is a weird feeling, but the more we fear something, that is actually the direction that we should be going
mm.
down
Oh
because
yeah.
comfort is so there's no real growth in comfort. It's
Mm,
nice. And our
yeah.
thoughts will try to keep us there. So your
Mm,
thoughts are trying to keep you there. Like, no, Lauren, we can't do that.
mm,
It's your past coming back up and telling
mm,
you, trying to keep you safe because it wants to remain.
mm,
It doesn't like feeling like, oh, I'm exposed. People can see me and they might judge me. It
mm,
doesn't want you to feel like that.
mm,
So sometimes we self-sabotage. The past comes back up and we start to and when you do feel that fear, it's in fact a good time to lean all the way in. And that's scary to lean
mm,
into the fear. But when you lean in, you realize that actually that wasn't that bad. The more you do it, the more you start to create new ways of thinking and being. So the more you lean into that fear, the more you'll get used to doing it anyway. What is it
mm.
about making decisions that you really struggle with?
Well, at the moment, it's mostly for like my career because when I first started off what I'm doing, I was saying yes to everything. So like every single little role, every single little content creation project, whatever, because I wanted to gain as much experience as I wanted, just to build my portfolio. But like most of these things are like not well paid at all. So now I'm getting now that I'm like more established, like I'm getting people actually reaching out to me for some projects. But a lot of them it's like not really super well paid. So I'm always I know I need to take the time to like sit down and like think of like a sort of like a long-term strategy because just been doing this for 2 months and I've just been like go, 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 go. I haven't had time to actually like sit down and be like, okay, like what's my strategy long term? Like how can I make an actual living out of this? Because I've just been like, okay, I need to gain experience like here, there, blah, blah, blah. Um, so I'm just sort of, yeah, thinking about that at the moment.
Thinking about how are you going to make the what how are you going to strategize to move forward? So what are the main thing keys for you at the moment? Then is it earning a good wage from what it is you're doing? Is that what it
Yeah,
is? Increasing
yeah,
income.
yeah. Because I've used a lot of my savings. I had a decent amount of savings, which I'm very grateful for. That I was able to use while I was building all of that because I wasn't earning a lot. Now it's slightly better. I still have to rely on it a little bit, but yeah, I want to get to a point where I'm actually making a good living out of it. Because a lot of the people I've met recently, those are like full-time people. And it's like I want their life.
Yeah.
So and they've given me a lot of tips and everything, so it's been good, but I need to yeah, instead of Yeah. For like content creation, for example,
Mm.
I've just been applying to stuff. Now people are starting to reach out to me, but it's like low paid sort of things. Um, I know what I need to do is to actually sit down and like start pitching to actual companies who pay well, who are known to pay well. Um, but I also have this thing in my head where I feel guilty for not actually working. So it's like if I take a whole day just like, I don't know, thinking long-term strategy, I think in my head I'm going to be guilty of like, oh no, I should be applying to something because like, I need to continue building that experience or like whatever. I always have this like guilt of not doing anything. Um, 'Cause
Hmm.
I think I'm low-key a workaholic now.
Mm. Yeah,
But
yeah,
I love it, but it's yeah, it's just a
yeah.
lot sometimes.
But you're so fulfilled. You're so because you're doing what
Yeah.
you enjoy. But you
Yeah.
you but that day out, and think that a lot of people can feel guilty for not being productive and having days off. But having that day off is part of being productive. That is a
Mm,
part of productivity. And
mm,
in order to be running on your full potential, that day off is so necessary to strategize.
mm,
So the guilt that you feel for not working, you are working. You're
mm,
working on your future. Without that day of strategy, how are you going to move forward? You have to have
mm,
that day. That day is so important. And on that day, you could think about one of the most profound moves that you're going to make within your career. And
mm,
even though we might set aside one day to strategize and think about what it is we're going to do, sometimes the answers come to us in the shower,
mm,
driving the car, waiting for an
100%.
appointment, in the line at the supermarket. So,
Mm,
but we still think that it's still a part of being productive, you having that day to strategize, to come down and rest. So then when you do go, you're on full. Because if you're on full, constantly burnout, 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 how are you ever going to you can't possibly bring your full self if you don't have downtime.
mm,
It's not productive, it's not possible. And
yeah.
you're constantly doing all of these things, so, you said that you felt quite burnt out as well, um,
Mm,
because you're taking on so much. But now the tables have turned a little bit because you've put in the work. So you're
mm,
now getting people that are approaching you. So now
mm,
you're starting to attract different things. And then
mm,
it's for you then to say yes or no to, yes or no. And that's something that you obviously can use and do within your strategy day of saying,
mm,
right, what do I actually feel about this? Is this going to be good for me? Does this align with how I want my future to look like? Is
mm,
this might not be financially good, but it's a good opportunity. I can get around these people that would be good, that would look good, that would be great for my portfolio. So your yes and no decisions and everything that you're doing at the moment and the burnout that you're facing, how many things are you is it different genres that you're juggling? So is it, or is it just all acting, modeling gigs, content creation gigs, everything that you're taking? Do you want to refine it, or are you happy with doing everything at the moment?
yeah, it's funny because a lot of people tell me, oh, you should just focus on one thing. You should just focus on like, I don't know, acting or like content creation or modeling. But I actually really enjoy the three of them. And yeah, I don't know, I don't really like that advice that much because I feel like if I was just doing one thing, I would feel like something is missing. And I feel like I learned so much from the three of them. So um I feel like I would be sort of shooting myself in the foot by just doing one thing. And they're all interrelated as well. Like the skill sets are very similar amongst the three. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I feel like I do want to continue doing the three. It's just that I need to, yeah, just
If you
think a
if
bit
you had
more
to
long term.
if you had to if I said to you, Lauren, you can only do two of those, act,
Mhm.
model, content creation, you have to get rid of one. What would that one? What two would you be left with?
Um, Probably content creation and mm, oof. Maybe no. Okay, probably modeling. I would keep modeling and acting. Probably.
Modeling and acting. And now
Yeah.
again, if I had to whittle it down to just you can only do one, what would it be?
Ooh.
Modeling or acting?
If I had to pick one, probably acting. I'd just keep
Acting.
acting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. Because I do think that we think it's so fun that we do so many different things. I think that eventually it will go down to something will filter out and you probably will focus on one thing more than the
Hmm.
other, just naturally,
Yeah.
because we can juggle, but there's always something that we tend to gravitate a bit more towards. And even though you can still do 10 things, but there's always that one thing that you're probably going to be pulled towards eventually.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, that's interesting. Is that something that you recognized? Is acting is the number one?
Yeah, I never really thought about it honestly because I've just been so go go go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do enjoy acting, yeah, because it's actually really funny because when I first started all of this, I was literally just doing content creation. That's how I started all of it. Then I got into modeling as well, and I got into well, on Star now. I was just focused on these two things, but I kept getting a lot of like audition requests for like acting roles, and I was like, I'm not even an actress. Like, why are you requesting me
Wow.
to like do an audition?
Yeah.
And I was meeting a lot of people on like modeling shoots who were actors as well. And they were telling me like, oh, you're an actress too, and I was like, no, I'm not. And they're like, oh, really? Like, I think you should be, etc. Um, and yeah, I don't know. And I did a few roles recently and I really enjoyed it.
Did
Um,
you?
and yeah, and there's a lot of opportunities in acting. It's not like it's like film acting like that I would love to do with that I need a bit more like experience and it's a bit more niche. But stuff like voiceovers, I did a voiceover recently. Um like acting for there's like a company today that I'm potentially going to sign a contract with for like creating sort of children content, like acting videos for like children kind of content. Um, and yeah, it's really good. There's lots of opportunities.
Wow.
It's really well paid, these kind of things as well. Um, so um,
Oh
so
my
yeah,
gosh, Lauren, this is so I could so see you on the screen. I could
oh really?
so see you as an actor, definite
Oh,
actress. I
thank
could
you.
so see it. Yes, yes, definitely. Is there any particular genre that you'd like to do? Thriller, comedy, horror, drama? What would it be?
Um, I'd like to be like versatile. I feel like I like doing a bunch of stuff, but like yeah, I could definitely see myself doing like a comedy or like a romantic movie as well, like romance, um, drama. Probably not horror
Totally.
because like I'm like scared of
Yeah, yeah,
everything.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was, I mean, look, we only had an hour, so I wanted to try and hit as many points as possible and you
Yeah.
know, obviously give you some guidance and maybe some strategies as to help you with what it is you're facing. So I hope that, if anything that you've taken away from it is just that you are definitely, smashing it and you are confident, you know what it is that you want to do and just moving forward now and just with confidence and grace and understanding and you're going to find your tribe of people that are
Mm,
just the way you are. The more you grow, the more you'll start to attract the people that are within
yeah.
that same vibration. So I do wish you all the best of luck, Lauren.
Thank you. Yeah, you too. Yeah.
Thank you very much.